Manchester today is a city of music and football, of scientific breakthroughs and industrial heritage. But how did we get here? Using AI to transform old engravings and photographs into vivid scenes, we're going to watch Manchester evolve from a Roman fort in the wilderness to the first industrial city and finally to the modern metropolis it is today. It begins in 79 AD. Rome is pushing north under Governor Agricola, and the legions need control of the routes between major forts. They choose a sandstone bluff above the meeting of two rivers, the Medlock and the Irwell, and build a frontier fort, Memusium. Around 500 auxiliary soldiers live behind earth ramparts and wooden palisades, later rebuilt in stone. Outside the walls, a small civilian settlement forms, traders, craftsmen, and families, complete with a bathhouse and a roadside inn. For roughly 3 centuries, life continues at the edge of empire. Then Rome withdraws. By 410 AD, the infrastructure collapses, stone is reused, roads decay, and Memusium fades. For centuries we know very little, just that a small settlement survives, names shifting toward Manchester. In the Domesday Book of 1086, it's barely mentioned, a minor place in the manor of Salford. Manchester's first real growth is slow and practical. In 1222, it gains the right to hold a market, trade brings people, and people bring money. A church rises on earlier Saxon sites, eventually becoming Manchester Cathedral. By 1400, the town is still small, muddy, flood-prone, surrounded by marshland, but it has a foothold in wool and cloth. Everything changes in the 1700s when cotton becomes the engine of a new world. Cotton is fashionable, but Britain must import the raw fibre, and Manchester's story becomes entangled with the brutal reality of Atlantic slavery. The cotton-feeding Lancashire mills is tied to plantations in the Americas, and the wealth created does not flow to those doing the hardest work, enslaved people abroad and exploited labourers at home. Then technology ignites the revolution, the spinning jenny, water frame, and spinning mule multiply output beyond anything handwork can match. Production moves from cottages into factories, huge brick mills powered first by water, then by steam. By 1801, Manchester is exploding. But the human cost is staggering. Workers crowd into filthy housing with little sanitation. Disease spreads. Factories run brutal hours. Children work dangerous jobs. In the 1840s, life expectancy can be shockingly low. And yet people keep arriving because the countryside offers even less. Pressure boils over in 1819 at Peterloo. Tens of thousands gather peacefully for political reform, and cavalry charge the crowd. People die, hundreds are injured, and the event becomes a scar on Manchester's memory, proof that industrial power and political voice weren't the same thing. In 1830, the modern world accelerates again with the Liverpool-Manchester Railway, the first major passenger line. Trade speeds up, industry scales further, and Manchester connects to the globe. A young Friedrich Engels arrives in the 1840s, witnesses the slums and the mills, and writes the condition of the working class in England, feeding ideas that will help shape modern politics. Then the American Civil War triggers the Lancashire cotton famine. Cotton stops, mills close, and families starve. And in a defining moment, Manchester's workers choose principle over desperation, supporting abolition, not slavery. Lincoln replies with admiration. It becomes part of the city's moral record. By the late 1800s, Manchester is wealthy and ambitious, symbolised by grand civic buildings like the Town Hall. But the 20th century brings war, bombing, and then long industrial decline. Mills shut, jobs vanish, and the city struggles. Yet Manchester reinvents itself. Music and football become global identities. Warehouses become homes, studios, and tech offices. Regeneration reshapes the city centre, universities expand, and media moves into places like Salford Quays. Modern Manchester is confident and complicated, vibrant culture, huge growth, but stark inequality and visible hardship. After the 2017 arena bombing, the city's response showed its character, solidarity, resilience, and the worker bee as a symbol of unity. From Roman fort to medieval market, from cotton powerhouse to post-industrial city, Manchester keeps transforming. The buildings change. The people's spirit, innovative, stubborn, and resilient, remains.